important. It's key.
All right. Nigeria is in transition and attention is on the inauguration of a new government on May 29. Ahead of the inauguration of the president-elect, Bola Tinubu has promised to take tough decisions to reposition the country for the benefit of the citizens and workers. In the face of this, the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC has demanded that the retirement age of civil servants be raised to 65 years and the length of service to 40 years. Meanwhile, Governor Godwin Obaseki in Edo State has decried the state of the economy, saying that it will be tough for states and federal government to pay salaries and wages for workers if fuel subsidy is not removed by June. Let's start from the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The tough decisions ahead. I thought Muhammadu Buhari was going to make sure make good of his promise before leaving office. We know the number one, the topmost is the removal of this subsidy. And stylishly, systematically, this administration has just kept it at bay to wait for the new administration. And I read the editorial of Punch today, you know. So the liability that's going to be inherited by the new administration and any government will become unpopular instantly. Tough decisions.
You see, it depends on who the person who is heading that government is. There are times you take decisions and you just close your eyes. It will take a few months, a few years before you start seeing the benefits. Let's go to Edo, for instance. Adams Oshiomhole, the former governor, was one of those who clamored that workers should not be retrenched when he was president of the Nigeria Labour Congress. They fought government very seriously at that time. Before he left Edo State, he had trimmed down the civil service. That is why today, Edo State is able to pay salaries and will brag about it. But the question is, how many civil servants does Edo State have now? That is logical, common sense. Because you cannot have a workforce that you are treating as if it is a social responsibility. Whereas the workforce is less than 1% of the entire population, but consuming more than 50% of the resources. How much are they bringing into the government coffers? Because those are tough decisions that must be taken now. That if you are not productive as an entity, as an institution, then we must begin to talk. There are certain areas where we don't like to go into. As I was coming out, somebody called me and said she was proud of what the Saudi government was doing with its petroleum industry. What are we doing with us? Saudi government has a lot of people employed. It's making profits through its Cross or whatever it's called, the Saudi Arabia Petroleum Corporation. So those are tough decisions that must be taken now. We are told that we have 4 refineries not producing. How many workers do we have in the last 80 years working in those refineries and that are not productive? They are tough decisions. They must be taken. It will seem, okay, NLC came and said, if you remove petroleum subsidy, then you must pay us a minimum wage of 100,000. And the question to ask is it feasible? Let's even say it is feasible, sir. It is feasible. Do they even think about what inflation will do to that 100,000 that is going to eat it up in a week? Even before they start earning it. Are they thinking, what is the solution out of this inflation? Are we going to bring interest rates back to a single digit and very low at that, maybe 2%, 1%? Those are the things that this government...
That's possible.
No, those are not... Those, you see, it's not a one-day job. It's not a one-day job.
From 21% right now?
Yes, sir.
Down to single digits?
It is something that will... That's why it's called tough decisions. You must sit down and look at it and say, what is good for this country? Because the way we are going, sir, if we are not careful, we're going to kill this country.
Yeah.
Which we have almost done now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The president was so reluctant because I know that he's after the interest of the masses. And they told him the implication that, look, by the time the downstream sector and everything is deregulated and everything, if we remove this subsidy, we might end up buying a liter 500, 600, 700, or 800 naira per liter.
Let's be realistic. It's actually a serious dilemma. This issue of subsidy removal has been one that, as the debate has lingered on.
But the president-elect said it in his campaign that it was going to. He was so unequivocal about it.
Even this administration was also unequivocal. What I'm trying to say is that I don't think there is anybody who is conscious of our realities today. I don't think anybody would think that subsidy should remain. It does not make sense. It does not make any economic sense. It makes no sense at all. However, what we have talked about is, if we are removing subsidy, what about ensuring that there is a local production of oil? You understand? Palliatives. So that we don't, and there are palliatives. Yes, I think subsidy has to go.
Local refineries.
Yes, local refineries have to work.
Okay. Let's just. The Nigerian Labour Congress talking about 65 years length of service to 40 years.
I also think, in a way, I disagree with that. Because when you look at the way we have run this country, people are going into universities and coming out, and they can't find jobs. Some people are holding on to those jobs. They still want the length of service.
With their date of birth.
Yes, they still want to hold on to this job for longer. I'm not saying it's not good, but you can only encourage that where the system is running properly, where the level of unemployment, the rate of unemployment is not increasing every year.
Okay. Yeah. So length of service, 40 years. It's
going to 65. So when you go a little more time, we'll say you should go to 70, which is what we are pushing.
Even if FG can, let's say FG can do this, if FG can even increase the minimum wage to 100,000, what about the states? Currently, many states are still owing salaries. So we need to be.
They can't pay the 18,000.
They can't even pay.
Not to talk of 30,000.
They can't even pay 18,000. So we need to be very realistic in our demands, in our requests.
Have to leave it there.
For me, it's like I've said, it's a circle that we must make sure the wheel rolls properly.
Exactly.
It's a circle. If the refineries are not working, and the only one we are looking up to is Dangote refinery, then I don't see what those number of workers are doing in NNPC.
Kaduna refineries.
All of them. I don't see what
they are being paid for doing nothing.
They are being paid for doing nothing. If there are too many civil servants in the system, I don't see why NLC and TUC should force us to retain them, because they are being subsidized by the private sector.
All right. I want to thank you, Paul, for your contribution. And Dotun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
Oladipo. And that's our off hangout on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.